Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Hello and welcome to this week's Z2A podcast with me, Mark, and Jules from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello and welcome.
The Z2A is where we pick a letter and a topic and discuss how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and life. So what is this week's letter?
Well, this week, guys, we've gone back to the letter B, and B is for believe. So believing in yourself. And we have a very special guest again on this podcast, a person who has a lot of belief in herself. A little bit of a giveaway there. It's the wonderful Sally Wood.
Hello, I believe I'm very pleased to be here today.
Yeah, it's always lovely to have you back. You're our favourite guest. Don't tell any of the other guests that.
I bet you say that to all your guests.
We say that to all the guests. But
Nobody will come on now.
I know. But they've got a top Sally, you see. But what have you been up to since you were last on the show?
Well, I've had all sorts of exciting things, really. So just in the last couple of weeks alone, I went to the House of Commons for a small business reception as part of my role with the Federation of Small Businesses.
How cool was that?
It was very cool. So got to walk through the Grand Hall where the Queen lay in state, where Winston Churchill had laid in state, saw the state golden carriage. But on a more serious note, I was there to represent the interests of small businesses. So I got to talk to politicians and ministers about some of the issues affecting small businesses like Future Toolbox, just to tell them some of the issues that we face that maybe some of the bigger businesses don't face. So that was a brilliant experience. It was, wonderful to be invited to such a prestigious event. I also went to the Startup Awards where Future Toolbox were finalists in the Startup Social Enterprise of the Year. I have to say it was probably the toughest category of the night. Every single social enterprise that was nominated was amazing. But it was a brilliant evening. It was at the Custard Factory in Birmingham, which is a great venue. It's where they literally used to make Bird's custard.
Oh, wow. Did you have any custard while you were there?
I didn't, no.
No,
I had
that's disappointing.
I had some lovely Biscoff cheesecake, though, which was amazing. And I had a really nice glass of wine in a zero waste bar, which was really cool.
Yes, I remember you sending us the pictures.
Really good. Yeah. So that was a lovely evening, and always good to fly the flag for Future Toolbox. Met some lovely people there. Also, one of my clients, which is a business called Caris Grants that helps get funds out to vulnerable people in society. It was their 20th anniversary a few weeks ago, so I helped them celebrate their 20th anniversary of making a difference to people's lives.
Wow, 20 years they've been going.
20 years.
That's
been
phenomenal, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
So it's great, and they're working with some really big names in the energy sector, but also charities, housing associations, citizens advice bureaus, all sorts of really interesting companies to get, domestic appliances, to get debt relief, to get vouchers and things to people who are really, struggling with the cost of living. So that was very exciting. Went to Mark's beer-a-thon on Sunday, which was an experience purely to observe. So Matt and I came along with a little picnic and a bottle of wine and watched lots of people run in the heat, eating snacks, drinking various drinks, and generally having a lot of fun. And it was a really nice afternoon. And you raised a lot of money for Headway as well at that event, didn't
We
you,
did.
Mark?
I'd just like to say very quickly, please do not try that at home.
Yeah.
That's why we weren't at home when we did it. We done it somewhere else. But no, on a serious note, it is quite silly, really. But we had a great day, loads of fun, and we raised £207 for Headway East Northants. So I need to send them the money over now, and then they can start using that for their service users. So brilliant day, full of silliness, full of fun.
Full of fun, and just lovely to see people enjoying themselves on a very beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon.
And I was really impressed that some of the people running actually did it in fancy dress.
Yeah.
That was quite impressive. We had a beer bottle, we had somebody on horseback, And we had somebody who was some sort of Japanese ninja as well, in a full-on sort of skin suit, which was quite alarming because it was so hot. I thought he was going to pass out, but he did very, very well. So, yeah, it was a great afternoon.
Well, so you've been up to quite a lot then, some really, really exciting things.
Yeah. And I remember you saying on a LinkedIn post about your career, and you called it a portfolio career, which pretty much sums up what you've done over the last sort of few months.
Yeah.
And going to the Houses of Parliament is pretty incredible because the history there, the aura that it gives off, and the amount of people that have walked through that building.
Yeah.
And to actually go there and think, I can walk into Parliament and say my piece.
Absolutely.
And somebody will listen.
Yeah.
Whether they'll do anything or not is different, but
Absolutely.
they listen.
But there were people listening, people asking for my opinion, and I ran a virtual networking event today for FSB, and I was talking to some of the people there about how important it is for me to have events like that, because when I host events myself, I hear what small businesses have to say. It all goes in here, and I speak to a real variety of businesses in different sectors, and to be able to talk to MPs. So MPs were coming up to me saying, Sally, tell me about what's going on with businesses in your area, because it's probably different to my constituency. I want to hear what's going on. How are different types of businesses affected? And to have that voice is amazing.
That's wonderful. And I think the other thing that we need to sort of put out there is we have that absolute belief in that you are going to raise those things and be the point of call for local businesses at events like that, because you believe passionately in small businesses and particularly in Northamptonshire and surrounding areas. So well done you.
Thank you. Very exciting. I don't know if I'm going to have that much excitement next week, but who knows?
Who knows
what that'll bring. So we're talking about B is for belief, and that's all to do with fixed and growth mindsets and how you think. So if you have a fixed mindset, you're not going to move forward. And this is something we teach in a lot of sessions and workshops to teens, to young adults, and to families and communities as well. Obviously, we worked on a recent project with the Power of the Mind Network, the three of us together, and we put everything around confidence and self-belief. And to be able to do that and to go and put yourself forward, you need to have that own inner confidence. And funny enough, we were talking about when you was a director and you got promoted to that level, about your own self-belief, but also being yourself is really important, isn't it?
Absolutely. So one of the best bits of advice I've ever been given in my career was when I first got promoted to director, and a chap called Steve, who was the HR director at the time, said to me, Sally, whatever you do, don't stop being you, because that's why you've done so well at what you do, is because you are yourself. You've got your own unique personality, your own style. People relate to you, and that's what's helped you get ahead in your career. And that's really, really something that's stuck with me. And it's a piece of advice that I've been really happy to pass on to other people. I always say, if you're pretending to be somebody else, it must be absolutely exhausting. So trying to do a job and be an actor at the same time all day, every day, just doesn't work, does it? So being yourself and being true to the values that are important to you.
Absolutely.
Is so key, isn't it?
True to your values, because your values and your beliefs go hand in hand together, don't they? And being true to your beliefs and believing in yourself is key. And I always think, just be yourself, because there's no one better. There's no one better at being Sally Wood than Sally Wood. There's no one better at being Mark Kennedy than Mark Kennedy.
Absolutely. And that's a quote. Be yourself, everyone else is taken.
Everyone else is taken.
I love that.
No, judge yourself through someone else's eyes. I got told that once before, and that stuck with me, that judge yourself for what you've done and your values, your beliefs, what it is that you're trying to do, and don't try and do it through someone else's eyes, because they'll see everything completely different.
I've just picked a bit out from our book here, Don't Get Your Neck Tattooed, which is obviously the Z to A of life. Plug. Yay. And there's a chapter called B is for belief in here, of course, and it talks about growth mindsets. Now, the fixed mindset of a person who looks at somebody and says, do you know what, I can never be that good, I can never aspire to be that person because they are experts, they are world famous, they are amazing at taking exams or whatever. But the growth mindset says we see people who is an inspirational role model to learn from. Now, obviously, we've done a lot of work with teenagers recently, and we've hosted some webinars on revision and study. And one of the things we really touched on there as well is about giving it your best shot in your exams. So for teenagers who are listening at the moment, they've probably heard us talking about businesses, being serial entrepreneurs and all that sort of stuff, thinking, I can never do that and do my exams. But we hit home a message in saying that study that person who's really, really good. Study that person who's done something that you aspire to.
A lot of people that I talk to say it's really valuable to find yourself cheerleaders in life. If there's somebody you aspire to be like, maybe try and have a conversation with them. I spoke to a chap today on our FSB networking event, and there was a marketing guru from the States that he really admired. So he sent him a message on LinkedIn and he got a reply.
Wow.
And started having a conversation with this guy. And then it turned out this guy was coming over to the UK. So they arranged to meet up and they had a coffee together. And this was someone who'd written one of his favourite marketing books. This guy works in the field of marketing. And I thought that's such a great story, because genuinely good people are often very generous with their time. They've got that self-belief, but they want you to have that self-belief in yourself as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's something that we try and help people to have that through our workshops, no matter what age that person is to have that belief in themselves that they can aspire to be what it is that they want to be.
Yeah.
They can be good at what they want to be good at.
So one of my favourite sayings is comparison is the thief of joy. I might have even said it on this podcast before. But if you are constantly comparing your achievements or what you have to other people, it's going to take the joy out of your life. It's going to damage your self-belief. And I know, Jules, we were talking about some tips and tactics to help you if you're feeling bad about yourself, or if you are feeling that other people are doing better than you, or if something goes wrong.
Yes, I mean, just a couple really for today's podcast. I always try and focus on your strengths, because it's very easy to get caught up with what you're not so good at.
Yeah.
And you forget, do you know what, I'm really good at X, Y, and Z. So try and focus on those positive things, the things that you're good at, your strengths, and actually do something that you're good at. So for example, if you're really good at cooking, do you know what? Go and cook your favourite meal.
Yeah.
Cook your favourite meal. Share it with somebody, whether it's your brother, your sister, your mum, your dad, your auntie, or even your neighbour, or the dog. It doesn't matter.
Your dinner's in the dog.
But enjoy it, because you'll feel better about yourself. And again, if art's your thing, do some art and look at it and be proud of what you've done.
Yeah, that's reminded me of times we've been into schools where we've heard people say, oh, don't follow a career in art because there's no money in it, or don't follow a career in music because there's no money in it. But then when you look at it, if you enjoy doing it...
And it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. Do it.
Do it.
Do it,
Absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. Another really good tip that I was told many, many years ago, and it's a fantastic exercise to do. If you are worried about some of the mistakes that you've made in the past or failures that have happened, do you know what? Write them down and think about the possible reasons for why that didn't work very well, or why you made that mistake. Once you've done that, you can look at it and come up with a solution. So therefore you can avoid making that mistake again. It will give you that confidence and that belief in yourself that if something was to come up again, you think, I know how to handle that. Yeah. I know exactly what to do now.
Exactly. And then the bad thing doesn't feel quite so bad after all, does it?
We wrote a little bit in the B's for Beliefs about Thomas Edison inventing the light bulb and trying all those experiments, spending many, many years. In fact, it was about 10,000 experiments he performed.
Wow. And
it's really key, because he used to write down and document his experiment and then say, yes, I've identified another way of how not to invent a light bulb. So he learned from his mistakes there. And that's a real key, where you write those things down and think, yeah, if I keep doing that, I'm going to get the same result. Definition of madness.
I knew it, but it's true. It's true.
I had to get a quote in there somehow.
But that is all about realising that whatever happens, there is a positive in it, because if you've learnt something from it, you know now one more way of how not to do it, but you're now looking at another way of how to do it.
That's right. And you were saying about building that growth mindset. And that's something that you can start doing from a very young age. But even as you grow older and you become an adult, and even through later on in life, you're still building that growth mindset, aren't you? That's one key thing that you were saying, is make way for failure, because unfortunately some things won't go to plan. It won't work. But if you've got those mechanisms to be able to cope with it, then it's absolutely fine. And allow those failures to come in, because it's part of your growth and part of your success, isn't it?
Yes. Now, I've got another quote here. The believer will believe what the perceiver will perceive.
Ooh. You did well saying that.
I did. It's
Proud
quite a
of
hard
you.
one to say. I'm proud of that one as well.
I wouldn't have got that out in one go. I can tell you that for nothing.
The believer will believe what the perceiver will perceive. The believer and the perceiver are actually the same person, aren't they?
Yes.
Because if you believe that something's going to go wrong, then you're probably going to perceive that it will go wrong.
Yeah.
Likewise, turn that round. If you think something's going to go well, then you're going to put
The
that into your
likelihood
mind.
is it's going to go well.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to go and smash this job interview today and get this job. I'm going to go into this exam, pass the exam. It's going to go really, really well. I've got an audition on stage. I'm going to be amazing today. And it's just about having that positive growth mindset to believe what you believe, then you can perceive what you perceive.
Oh, I like it.
Do you know, he said that 3 times without fluffing it. I am so proud.
Do you know why? Because I thought of it beforehand and I thought, I can say that live on air. Live on air on this recorded podcast that we can edit if we wanted to.
But yeah, talking about that, another thing at the end of the day to do is think of a positive word of the day. So think of something that's gone really well through the day. For example, if you're a parent or a carer and your son and daughter's helped you with the washing up, I have no idea why I've thought of this, and they probably won't help you with the washing up, but if they have, their positive word of the day could be they've been helpful.
I'm going to change that language, because your children probably will help you with the washing up. You said they probably won't.
Did you used to do the washing up when you was a teenager?
I did actually, yeah, from time to time. Not all
From
the
time to time?
From time to time I
We
did.
used to have a rota. Seriously?
Well, I was an only child, so that would have been really rubbish later, wouldn't it?
The rotor. Whose turn is it to
Whose
wash
turn
up
is it
today?
today? Oh, it's mine again.
It was a strict rota because there was 3 of us, and which day one of us would do the washing up, one would do the drying up, and one would do the putting away.
Yeah. Well, I think I used to go on the rotor with my mum, so...
So there was 2 of you.
Or sometimes she'd just say, look, just do the washing up. So it was a little bit easier, that one.
And now everybody's got a dishwasher anyway.
Yeah. But we can believe that your young children will do the washing up.
And be helpful. But yeah, think of a positive word of the day as something that's gone really well.
I'm going to finish with a little bit of fun here.
Go on.
So this is all about beliefs, but strange beliefs. And again, we wrote about this in the Don't Get Your Neck Tattoo book. So we put in here about conspiracy theories.
Oh.
Because they're always about belief.
Yes.
So one of them we talked about here is Elvis, who died in 1977, of course. And he is one of the most cited people after his death. So people are convinced
Well, we've been to see
that
him.
they've seen Elvis. But we're talking about the real Elvis, not the guy who performs on stage at your holiday destination. Also, people keep seeing Princess Diana. And also the rapper Tupac as well. The amount of sightings there have been where people actually believe it's a conspiracy and these guys are not dead. We also have another great conspiracy here about William Shakespeare.
I think I know the conspiracy that he didn't actually write all of the works that have been accredited to him. Is that right?
William Stanley or Francis Bacon wrote them. Sizzling fact, that, wasn't it? Here's another one of my favourite ones here as well. When you look up into the sky and you see the white lines left behind flight paths of aeroplanes, this is actually caused by the vapour coming out the plane's exhaust. There was a scientific conspiracy that governments were spraying chemical agents on citizens from the planes.
Grief.
So that's pretty amazing, really, isn't it? And people actually believe these things.
Wow.
Sometimes so many people repeat them so many times that they start to believe it.
It's true.
If it's on social media, it must be true.
If it's on Mark and Jules' podcast, it's true.
It's definitely true. By the way, the first one's not true, but the second one is.
Everything on this podcast has been fact-checked.
Well, let's thank our listeners for listening this week. We
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. Keep coming back for more. And obviously, Sally, keep coming back for more. When are you coming back again?
Yeah, I'll come back whenever you'll have me.
Yeah, do loads of really exciting things. Oh, yes, and of course, remind everybody where they can find you.
So probably the best place to find me is on LinkedIn. So if you look for Sally Wood Consultancy on LinkedIn, you'll see my smiling, happy face on there.
Always smiling.
Always smiling.
Next time I've done at least 3 exciting things, I'll be back.
I'll be
Excellent.
checking.
So thank you again, everybody, for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. And if you want to find out more, you can go to our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. You can find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok.
We're also on YouTube. Subscribe to that. And you can find us on LinkedIn as well.
Everywhere.
Because we are everywhere. And we look forward to catching you all next week. See you soon.
Bye for now.
See you later.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.